Alright guys, welcome back to the most amazing gaming channel in the world. Today we're going to be not really going over, I just want to talk about the For Honor. I know I'm very late on this. I apologize guys, I haven't been able, I actually just got over my sickness, kind of on the tail end of it, but I was sick. I had like a bunch of like computer issues that I talked about in another video. Long story short, let's get on into my thoughts about For Honor. Now, I did play a bunch into that game. I was trying to get all executions. Unfortunately, I think I would have needed to put about 30 hours into one weekend into the game in order to do it, because there's just some stuff that I really wish that they could kind of fix. One of which is kind of the currency system, but I understand that they're going to need to give it, a reason to actually, last, not unlock everything in a weekend. But first, I want to talk about the issues, the cons, just to get those out of the way so you guys don't hear that last and go, wow, that's a shitty game. One of the things, and this was closed alpha, they have a bunch of stuff they can fix. But to start, I want to talk about all of them. So let's go down into this. First thing, there's no mute for your teammates, which means if I get on and I'm listening to music or I'm screaming at my mom because, I'm living in her basement and she wants me to get off because it's too late and I have school, you can't mute them. Literally, you can turn off everyone's mic so you don't hear anyone, but you can't mute a certain person. So if they're screaming, if they're yelling, if they're trying to break your headphones and make you bleed out your ears, you can't mute that one person. You'd have to mute everyone. In addition to the chat wise, there's no team chat. There is kind of like everyone chat. So you can't be like, everyone, let's go over and flank them at Alpha. I'm coming in, because they can be like, oh, all right. So, you can talk to the whole match, but to what I could figure out, there was no actual team chat. So you couldn't really do anything unless you were going to talk, but even talking, it wasn't that great of a thing to have. So that is one thing I wish that they could fix. Also, they had really bad queues. They would drop people. I would queue with 3 and 4 man when at the time, and the closed alpha, 4 was as big as you could get. So we were trying to get a full team in, and it would drop 2 people, and it would leave them at the loading screen forever. And they'd have to really completely like Alt F4, open up Task Manager to end in order to actually have it work. That sucks. Next thing, there is no real push to talk, or if there was, it didn't work. I had some friends say that they did find it. I couldn't personally find it. And then they said that when they did try it, it wasn't actually working. So there was that issue. One of the group options that I did find was it did say group size 4, group type open. Now, I don't know if the open was what was allowing it to drop 2 people and put in 2 others. It was very, very odd. So I wish that, the big group thing is huge. And because it's Ubisoft, I really want them to kind of get their servers figured out. I'm still kind of skeptical because it is them. Also, you would freeze on the main map. We're having to close out the thing and re-log in. This was a huge pain because if you just went back to go see what your, I don't want to, the orders, I should say, you had to go back to the main menu, and if you did that, you had a chance of getting frozen. One thing I wish they would do with that is change to where you can view your orders in the match lobby while you're waiting for the next, round. So you don't have to leave the match just to look at your order to see what your progress is and then go back in. If they change that, I think it would be awesome. They also had an issue with the cursor itself, which just completely disappeared. Just boom, gone, and you just had to guess where it was at. That was a pain. The only way to fix that was by relogging in as well. Also, one thing that I wish that they would change is, to my knowledge, you couldn't see your team comp until you locked in. This kind of defeats, like, there were times where I would go in and there were like 3 Orochis and 1 like Raider, and I'm like, well, shit, I wish I could change. That would be kind of nice if they could change that as well. One thing is revive mechanics. Basically, they had it, if you took any damage, either from a minion, or I think they're called soldiers, or a player, it immediately stopped your revive and you'd have to restart. Now, it didn't have to restart from the beginning. It would just slowly re-go down, which sucks. It's kind of cool, but if you revived at 100% health. I really wish they would do something to where if you were hit, they just need to change the mechanics somehow. So if you were hit, maybe it would give you a reason to revive people. It's really hard to sit there and go, okay, do I have 5 seconds to where nothing is going to touch me? a lot of times I didn't even try and revive because I'm not going to get, half health from a strong attack when I'm trying to revive someone. So maybe like speed it up, but only have them revive back at 50% health. I think that would be kind of a cooler mechanic because you can regain your health by standing in points. Also, they would randomly kick you from a lobby. I don't know why, but I was playing a game and a couple of friends were like, no, I'm still in. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, I was just kicked. That was kind of a pain. Also wish they would do a little bit more currency on wins. Not like 10 per win, but maybe boot it up to like 20 or 25 or do something like that. Or just make orders repeatable, I think would be really, really a cool aspect there. Also, I think that there should be some way to activate abilities quicker. Now, not the cooldown reduction, but there were times when I'm like, oh, I'm about to die. Throw the smoke bomb so I can get out. And I was like spamming the hell out of the like smoke bomb button and it never went off. And I got hit and then I got hit and I'm like, no, spam, no, smoke bomb so they can't target. I can run away. And it never happened. The cooldown reduction I think is cool, but I think they do need to change the UI to make it a little bit more noticeable. Give you an actual cooldown timer, not just this light gray box filling up a dark gray box. It sucks because it's like, well, is it 45 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? I think there'd be some way to actually improve upon that. I think would be awesome. And then, like I said, just activate the abilities quicker. Now, I never ran into a problem of, not actually blocking. At first I did, but I do want to maybe bring it up because it was kind of tough to see. A lot of times I did play as the Orochi and it has like a 2-second timer of which you can actually block, and then you'd have to reblock again. For the most part, I think the blocking mechanics and the game mechanics went great. But the last couple things I do want to say is server instability. Like I said, you'd get dropped. I wouldn't want them to do that. There's also an issue with orders not actually popping up. And then the last thing that I did not like was you would join a party, but it wouldn't actually let you join. It did. So you wouldn't join the party, but it would say you did in game, so you could never queue up. And then you were stuck with waiting for only the match or the party leader can queue you up, and you'd have to relog as well. Again, these are all the closed alpha issues. Literally, besides these like 18-ish, 20-ish things that I did not like about the game, everything else was great. For a closed alpha, the game looked beautiful. The mechanics were fine. No one felt overpowered. Like, there was a couple which were annoying, but there's counters to those people. And, it's everyone's still learning the game as well. I thought the game itself, overall, literally besides those things, everything was great. And yes, it might sound like a lot, but to not have an overpowered thing, to not have someone not be able to block for some reason, or have one chain be unblockable, like that I think is awesome. And how they actually split up all their classes, so to say, and there's going to be more classes in the 6 they released in the closed alpha. But for those 6, it was like, well, there's strengths and minuses to them. You have to choose what you want in the type of playstyle you are. That's what I really like about the game. There's a couple things that a lot of people are still learning how to play the game, which will be covered in another video here that I'll be putting out. And basically, it's what I personally feel the game is supposed to be played on, at least Dominion. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, I am super stoked to get in the beta. Apparently, I'm already signed up, and I will be most likely getting invited to that. So stay tuned. I will be streaming that. And if you haven't, go follow that Twitch and Twitter, because on Twitter, I'll be giving out keys. If I was able to give out 3 this last time, and I gave out all 3. So, perks of following on Twitter. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, have yourself, as always, a fucking amazing life.